This is Lady Myya. I am here with Nicovanna Shannon, and
Mhm.
she is amazing. She's a co-owner, a CEO at Shannon and Associates, and she is a financial strategist and mentor. Okay, she does with investing accounts and also area sales management for Belt. You guys, Belt. Okay, and then an assistant business office manager for CarMax Superstore. Okay, so this is just the highlights, okay, of this repertoire. Okay, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna ask her some questions, and we're gonna just dive on in. I want everybody to understand, first off, what I do is how I do this is because of the fact that we have options, you guys. There's always options, and sometimes we look away from those things that called us at one time, only to go to into something that we are miserable at. If we only checked on the little me, we will see where we're supposed to be. So we're going to introduce Miss Nicole
Mhm.
Shannon. Hello.
Hello, hello.
All righty. Well, tell us more about Shannon and Associates.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me on your platform today. This means a lot to me. I am Nicovanna Shannon with Shannon and Associates Inc. I am co-owner. My mother is actually the other partner within our organization. And Shannon and Associates basically is a company that provides financial care solutions to the working and middle class uh, individual. We target individuals that have gone through some type of financial setback and they are needing some extra care. That's why we call it financial care solutions. They're just needing some extra care and getting back on track and becoming financially healthy. So our goal is to help mentor them through that process and really just follow them through it so that they really can live out what they are set to do here. Finances can put you in many different stages in life. And so we want you to be in the most optimal position. So that's pretty much what we do. We teach financial literacy fundamentals and we offer all different types of ways or solutions in order to become more financially savvy and be able to make your family financially secure.
Wow. Okay. And you know what? And we need that in this time. We do
Mm-hmm.
because that money situation going up and down and just not sure is very scary. So I can completely be thankful for people like you. Definitely. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with some of the questions I have for you today. I'm
Absolutely,
so
absolutely. I'm
excited.
ready. I'm ready.
Look at us. She's on, she's blowing, you guys. Look at that. So, how did you know that you wanted to be in business?
Well, I wanted to know since the ninth grade, actually. I had a science teacher that opened up his class or teaching for the day and just asked the students what they were wanting to do with the rest of their lives. And so many students, answered that question in regards to wanting to be a teacher, doctor, lawyer, um, veterinarian. It was all a various number of answers that came out. But for me, I really always wanted to be a business owner. And that is when I really spoke it out for the first time, was in the ninth grade. So because that desire was in my heart then, I really, as best as you can as a ninth grader, I really wanted to put into motion things that would bring me to where I am today. So uh, it could, it would not be on a grand scale as it is now, but I always had the heart to want to be an entrepreneur. Absolutely.
See, and that's That's what it say, out of the mouths of babes. You already told them, look, this is what I want to be. This is what I'm going to
Mhm.
be. And that's what I'm going to work for. You know what? That is ordained. It was ordained
Mhm.
for you to be that very.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Executive. Okay. so, so I see that you have plenty of executive business office
Mhm.
experience. And so I just wanted to know, basically, how does that help you with your current business?
It helped me a lot. It helped me a lot. When I graduated with my MBA, I actually came out of school knowing how to be a C-suite level executive, which is basically on executive operations, executive level finance, and or just being in the CEO position where you are, at the helm. So that's what the MBA program really sets you up for, is to be able to run business and know how to do it efficiently and understand the different disciplines that come along under business administration. So with that, I had the opportunity of being a part of two different executive training programs. One of them, which I cut my teeth on because I was like 26 when I went into the program, was with Belk Department Store. And I also was in the one for CarMax, but both of them really had a really robust training and development program and process. But what was special about Belk Department Store, they really trained you to understand the psychological part of being a leader and knowing the different behaviors that you may discover as you are leading a group of people. And so, because they did a lot of psychological tests on us, we did a lot of in-house um, programs where we actually would go in and work in the stores for a period of time, and then we would be back into classroom setting, and then we were put in different scenarios just to see what level of pressure you could take as a leader. And because of that, they were able to rightly place us within the organization. So when you look at that from a high level standpoint, that really creates a funnel of people that you have trained in your culture to actually take the helm 10, 20 years down the road. And so they really invested in their executive trainees because the goal was for those trainees to take the place of the ones that are currently leading right now, 10, 20 years down the road. So I really admired that because it really gave me a clear understanding of how you can build out a plan, create safeguards, and really help someone reach the goal that they're trying to reach. It's very intentional. And that's what I walked away with. They were very intentional about training us the way they wanted us to be in their culture. So I just apply that to what we do at Shannon and Associates, because our clients are given a plan that's up to 3 years. And we literally walk them through every major milestone and we document how they go through it. And so we put up the guardrails, we lay that out, the objectives, the goals down. You follow those goals, and we're able to see where you're getting off course or you're needing a little more protection. And then in other places, you're doing very, very well. That just helps us, one, break habits that you may have that's causing you to look at money in a way that's not as healthy. And it also allows us to fill in those gaps once you break those habits, and it allows us to train you on the fundamentals of financial literacy and what money really is and how it really is supposed to work. And as we're doing all of that, you're changing your thought about money. You are seeing that you can actually stick to a goal and succeed. And so all of that just kind of spills over into every other part of your life. So that was a big takeaway, being intentional about building a plan. With CarMax taught me on how to deal with large sums of money, to know how to create accountability for my client within our own company, and clearly know how to hold someone accountable for what they do. And being in compliance is everything. Being in compliance on a personal level is very important, because you can make major decisions when you're compliant. And being compliant as a business owner is just as well, because you gain the benefit of being able to have investors that will invest in you, and to have people that would maybe even donate to you because of how well you've kept your records. It just speaks volumes to your integrity. When you understand that accountability is tied to how you keep up with your documents, people can see how you do business by the way you handle your back office. So compliance and accountability is everything, in the world of money. So those are the two things that I walk away from, and when I was in the corporate world, and I apply both of those concepts to our business. And so when we have our clients leave us, they are not only prepared to make those large purchases, or, go into business and be sustainable, but they are also prepared to pass it on to the next generation. And because all of their stuff is in line, and it's just a matter of training up that person to take the helm.
Mm-hmm. You know what? You know what? It's good to have that, because you want to have the family, or the person that is giving unto the other person, to be accountable for what they already built up, because I mean, then it just starts to dwindle away when you don't do that. So it's just,
Exactly.
okay, everything that I built, you just let it go. Oh my God.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the passion it wasn't captured.
Yeah.
Because if it's scattered and all over the place, it's one thing to talk passion. It's another thing to be able to write that down and pass it on, because you're building a culture within your family. You're building a culture of financial stability. You're building a culture of knowing how to talk about money, and it's not a taboo subject. There are some families, a lot of emotion is tied to finance, and that's where you want to break that. There shouldn't be any emotion tied to it. It should just be a regular, fluid conversation. That's the
Yeah.
way it should be. But a lot of family dynamics don't have that, because they experienced, mommy and daddy going through bankruptcy, or there was a separation, and, then the money was cut off. And now, I see mom struggling, or I see dad struggling. And now, we did have clothes and food and shelter and electricity and all. Now, okay, we sitting in the dark. This is from a child's standpoint. So all of this builds into your psyche, and it creates a record. And so what do? We put in safeguards on a toxic level, or a toxic side, to protect from feeling those feelings. So when you say, okay, when I get grown, I'm not going to ever go through that again. I'm not going to ever experience that again, whatever that might be. What's driving that insecurity that you felt when you were a kid? You didn't feel safe anymore. So now maybe you're pinching pennies, which is a good thing to a certain point. But then again, you got to spend some. You got to spend some, and you got to save some, and you got to give some. But everything that we do is based upon of our experience. So I want my client to be comfortable enough to have that financial conversation, period, with your family, your wife, your husband, your mother, your father, kids. Everybody should be able to comfortably talk about money, and it not be a taboo subject.
Yeah, because that break up families sometimes, the money situation.
No,
You're
it
like,
can. It really can. It could definitely tear families up, and it has.
mm-hmm.
It
and
has.
continues to do so. So,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to name no
Absolutely.
names, You're not going now. So,
Right.
okay. So how can you, so I do understand because you jumped into the whole last question for
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I'm like, so she just taking it. Okay, no problem. So it was basically, how can your business basically help? And you saying, just having that education and that financial understanding and just having a plan and just being able to have that conversation
Mhm.
is big. It really is. And it does
Mhm.
help for people to like be so knowledgeable that they're able to talk to them and give them a fair understanding as to what it is that you're trying to do and what
Mhm.
they would need to do kind of just going forward in order
Exactly.
to maintain. But you did that one. You did that one. I'm sitting there like, okay, just go ahead. Next question. She got it. She got it. It's all good. And but you know what? I do appreciate that because like how long have you been in business?
We've been in business for 14 years.
14 years. Wow, you guys. She know what she's doing then, Nobody filing bankruptcy on her watch, honey. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Y'all gotta know. And so
Yeah.
where can we find you at? Like, are you doing anything kind of nationwide or just local?
Yes, actually, we do have, well, we are starting to have more of a national presence, but we do have a website. You can find us at www.sssamoneymatters.com. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Shannon and Associates does have a business page on Facebook, so we have a designated landing place for anyone that wants to know what we do. We have videos out there. We have articles that we post up, uh, things that we just talk about in general. So we have all type of resources tied to our Facebook page, business page.
No, that's fine. And I will definitely make sure that those links are in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll definitely just kind of like, girl, I got to keep you in the know, honey, because,
Yes.
a couple things be happening. I do appreciate you because, like, you have just more so a very down home presence. And it's more
Mm-hmm.
so like, it's very approachable. You're
Mm-hmm.
way more approachable than most people that's in finance,
Mm-hmm.
things
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And honey, I ain't gonna name your name.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. And yes, we are. We are. There in the financial industry, there are a wide range of services that you can tap into. And there are many, many organizations that offer nonprofit and for profit. But what makes us different and what sets us apart is that we understand that everyone has a story. And it would be wonderful if all of us had a credit score of 720 and we had $10,000 in the bank and we had investments and, mutual funds and annuities and all that, and that we had all of that wonderful stuff in place. It would be wonderful. That's a great, and there are some people who are doing and winning that way, and we encourage them in that. But when it comes to just where we are in the pandemic, right, you have over 20 million people that are out of work. And you think to yourself, do they have a plan? Well, did they ever plan that they would lose their job? This is when you find out if what you were doing was really working, because you're going to be pressured on so many levels on how to figure out how to make it work.
Yes, and you know what? What happens is this: a lot of the people that I do know, or I am in contact with, or live with, so we don't always get those opportunities to to save or anything like that because you are living from paycheck to paycheck and you're
Mm-hmm.
just making it off of that just to like have food, you know. But at the
Yes,
same time, you know, y'all can save on some Starbucks and you put that $7 somewhere safe
absolutely.
for a rainy
Absolutely.
day, you know, once a week at least, you know, so that we can all get some things done for the future. And it just makes it so much more easier to do so, because it's like now everybody is panicking. They weren't Nobody was really thinking, because you know we're on autopilot. You know, we're not thinking about everything else. We know that check comes in on Friday.
Right.
Everything else goes out on Monday, and
Exactly.
here we go, starting over and over again. So,
Yes.
but
So a lot of our services, it's the minimal cost to come on board and be a part of our customer service experience, or Shannon and Associates experience. And we did it that way purposely, intentionally. We did, because we know our goal is to keep you. So our focus is to retain you and for you to be a mouthpiece for us, because your experience was so strong. And so, our goal is to see you win. We want you to win. We want your family to win. We want your children to win. We want your grandchildren to win. And even if you just have one life insurance policy, term life, and that's all that you can do, because that's where you are right now, that's okay. Because if you pass tomorrow, your children will not be in the same place that you are. They will have a new baseline.
the truth. That's
Hmm.
the truth. We all should know this. We got to put our big girl boy
Yes.
panties on,
Yes.
and because if we don't, we're just leaving a burden for all the rest of the people that we so
Absolutely.
called love. We think we love them, but we leaving them with
Right.
nothing.
No, that's truth though. That's what it is. You're leaving them with your stuff. So now they're having to deal with your stuff and their stuff. And then they don't have anything to help with their stuff. So it's a double negative.
Yeah, we can't do that many fish fries. I'm just saying.
Right. 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 And passing the hat and whatever else we do. Like,
Gonna ask the
yeah.
congregation to gonna have
Yeah. No,
that
we
put
don't want
on
to think
time
like
box,
that.
gonna have the service right.
Yes, exactly. We do not want to think like that. No.
No, 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 we don't. But I want to definitely get all the rest of your information up here, because I definitely want
Absolutely.
people to have that opportunity to at least get educated in regards
Yes.
to their finances.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Anyway, and then so we can all be aware, because I guess for a lot of the term, like I guess for the term for me,
Mhm.
at least in my experience, I've always had that, the elders were like more so, look, you just work, just keep working. It didn't matter, you use your money, you make sure your rent is paid. That's that. As long as
Mhm.
you got a roof over your head, everything
Mhm.
else can be kind of like adjusted. And I'm like,
Exactly.
okay, I was not properly prepared to be an adult at this point.
Yeah.
Looking at it
Yeah. Yeah, because what they did is they just trained you to survive.
like,
That's what they trained you to do. You're just gonna survive. You're surviving as long as you got something to eat and you have somewhere to lay your head and you're paying your bills, you're good. No, you're just surviving. You're not truly living. You're not
no,
truly living when you do that. And then
no,
you hear a lot of people say, well, is it just this? Is this all that it is? So yeah, so it's just time, you just have to push that thought. You have to go past that survival thought and just think a step further down the road.
true, true. And some people are angry. And so I've
Mhm.
bumped into a bunch of people. I used to sell life insurance as well, and I used to knock on
Mhm.
doors. And people were
Mhm.
like, no,
Mhm.
if I die today or tomorrow, I don't care what goes on. I don't care where
Exactly.
I end up. I don't care, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here to know. And I mean, that's scary
It's
that
very
people can
scary.
feel that way. but at the same time, you can't say that, it's wrong for them to feel that way because, I mean, look at the hand that they were dealt.
No, that's the reason why they're saying what they're saying, is because whoever was before them left something for them to have to clean up. So it just started a toxic way of thinking, started a toxic culture that's being passed down from generation to generation. It's
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
It's sad. It's super sad. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be more prepared.
Yes.
We're gonna be
Yes.
grown-ups.
That's
My
right.
daughter says, "Mommy, I don't want to adult anymore." And I said, "Well, sweetheart, I'm sorry. You just turned 23. I can't help you."
Right.
Like, you've been an adult for a while. Get in the program. Let's do this.
Yes.
I want to definitely give everybody your information. We definitely going to have all that put in the description below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to have all her pages as well as the links to her pages and her business and everything else she got going. Because she's a solid chick. This chick, she's doing the daggone thing. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But I appreciate her time. I appreciate her energy. She is a phenomenal person from Alabama.
That's
And
right.
we just love her to pieces. And you guys have a great day. Please be safe. This is just like a really, really crazy time. Some people are just wanting to stay in, but at the same time, they're just kind of losing it. And we don't want to do that. We want to be safe. We want to be healthy. We want to be prepared, better prepared going for it. And thank you so much for living your best life with Lady Myya and Shannon.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Love you guys. Y'all have a great and powerful day.